Sublime magnificence.
Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, what is happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis Feo Grande on YouTube, back with another episode of This Guy Hasn't Seen, and I am joined as usual by my co-host and running mate, one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Kill Bill Smith.
Hey Omari, thanks for having me. As always, I love being here. I love doing this little thing we got going on, and I love when it's my turn to be shown.
Yes, sir. That's right. So, for those of you guys that don't know, real quick, we like to trade movies back and forth, kind of like a book club with movies or other forms of entertainment, as it may be, mostly movies. We trade movies once a week, and this week I brought something to Bill that, to continue on a theme that I did from a while, because we've been on a nostalgia kick as of recent. I'm not sure if you noticed. And I talked about some 90s stuff, and I was saying a while ago, when you thought 90s, you think the video game console wars, and you think Sonic versus Mario, or something along those lines. Bottom line is, we did Sonic. And so, when it came time to do something again, I'm like, we already talked about Sonic. Let's keep it going in the video game movie category. Gotta have the equal representation. What we do for Sega, we got a Nintendo for the other one. Super Mario Brothers movie from 2023.
Super Mario Brothers from 1993. Two Brooklyn plumbers, Mario and Luigi, must travel to another dimension to rescue a princess from the evil dictator, King Koopa, and stop him from taking over the world. It stars Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo.
I don't think that's the...
No, I kid. The Super Mario Brothers movie from 2023. A plumber named Mario travels through an underground labyrinth with his brother Luigi, trying to save a captured princess. I feel like they went out of their way to make it not sound like the last movie's bio.
By the way,
all right, we can't have literally the identical bio where you swap out King Koopa for Bowser.
But yes, we're talking about that.
It is directed by Aaron Hova. It's directed by 3 people. What is going on with this movie? Writer, it is written by Matthew Fogel. It stars Chris Pratt, Anna Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Keegan-Michael Key. There's a bunch of people in this movie.
Jack Black. Yes.
Jack Black. Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. So I mean, Omari, I think we kind of know why.
Yeah.
But give us the rundown.
Oh yeah. Essentially, I've talked about how historically video game movies were done dirty. Or video games were done dirty by movies. And it's only been recently that people have started to be okay with it. Like Sonic had that whole fiasco everyone knows about with the design, and they're like, fine, we'll make the design like the game. Oh shit, people are spending money on it. Maybe for Sonic 2, we can make it a little more like the game. You know, we're still kind of stuck in our rut of including human characters and shit. But Mario, it gave people a lot of hope because they decided, first off, fully animated stays in the video game realm, so you're a lot more able to keep it more like the video game. Yeah. And with the exception of the casting, the more, because it also kind of like plays into the expectations I had before I saw it the first time. Finally, the more they revealed about stuff, once they set the casting, it was like, Mario is Chris Pratt. And then the first trailer for him, I'm as guilty as everybody else for being like, God damn it, Chris Pratt, I wanted you to at least try. Later trailers gave a bit more confidence, but you gotta understand, it was people's first time hearing animated Mario with someone other than Charles Martinet doing his voice in like 30 years. So
while Charles is actively doing interviews where he's not saying that he was forced out of the company and the role, and he's not super happy with it, but he's like kind of loosely giving those vibes.
yeah, no, I am ambassador.
Like, no, yeah, there's absolutely not a gun to my head. I'm having a great time. I love my new role with the company. Everything's fine. Like,
yeah, right. That guy that you need to force out of a position for somebody else, but he knows too many secrets, so you have to keep him in the company.
he knows what the bodies are
like old military people who made it to the top. Like, oh no, you retired from that position, but you're still military. You just do some stuff around here. You know too much. But yeah. So, but the more trailers we saw, it was like, this might actually be fun and interesting. And then I watch it and I'm like, damn, they actually did go up. They did put in the effort to make this a video game movie. So I was like, you know what? Especially because we showed Sonic on here. I'm like, I might as well show this to you because you hadn't seen it either. Or,
Nope.
Up until recently, I hadn't seen it. I watched it specifically so I could recommend it on the show. And yeah. Even though we've done these guys haven't seen before, I didn't want to cheat too often.
right.
But yeah, so Mario, Bill, what expectations did you have? Did you have any expectations in particular?
So let's see. I had so I mean it had a big pop culture moment when it was in the theaters. I was kind of already thinking about seeing it because yeah, the vibes were strong on it. Other than the Chris Pratt of it all, remove that. Like you said, the vibes on like, okay, they can make a video game movie now and they'll do video game shit and it's going to be animated, so it's not going to be ridiculous and it's not reanimating the characters in a crazy way. It looks like Mario. So okay, this is looking okay. And I was just kind of loosely like, I've never been a big Mario head or anything, and I was never in particular a Nintendo head beyond the 64. I did the original NES, had the original NES for quite a long time to be able to make the leap up to the 64, skipping the Super Nintendo. Because I had a Sega at my mom's house for that in between segment. But after the 64 was never much of a Wii guy, and then even before then I never really did the Super Mario games in the NES system or the 64 system that much. Um so I was just kind of loosely thinking about maybe seeing it, and then the movie came out and the Jack Blackness of it all exploded all over the place, and I was just kind of like, and I love Jack Black, and I love Jack Black being Jack Black, but it in a weird way just kind of soured me on the movie a little bit of just kind of like, oh, it's just,
I can agree.
it's just gonna be like a Black Jack fest. Is that what's happening? Or just like really laying like relying on the talent casted to do these, like, because you get these we got this person, so now they have to do one of their classic riffs,
Exactly.
And really it just ends up being a scene where characters are standing in a room for 3 minutes. But it's blah blah blah's classic riffs.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's an animated movie. Like, it doesn't work. Just
That's so Jack Black. He would totally say something like that.
So yeah, it's like there was that whole thing of it, which kind of, it was like, I guess I'll see it when I see it. Okay, the peaches. Like, I got that part and I was like, oh yeah, that's funny. Okay, cool. And then I want to say at some point I had heard somebody talking about it in the vein of like, man, they just kind of did it all. Like they just kind of did all the Mario things. They didn't really save much for the
Or a
sequel.
sequel, yeah.
Is kind of what I heard a couple of different times. Um, it may have even been in the vein of a quote from one of the writers or creators saying like, well, we don't know if we're going to, you never know if you're going to get a two. So you might as well put down every good idea on paper. And basically the only things that didn't make it into the movie are ones that they just didn't have the time for.
Also, at the end of the day, the majority of Mario games are the same plot anyway, so
Right, yeah,
you
there's
don't
that.
need a lot of like the main thing that separates Mario's, especially nowadays. What's the new gimmick mechanic of the game? You know, now you got a jetpack thing on your back. Now you're in space. Now you got a cap. Now you got this. You know, so. And I'm not saying anything against it. It's
No.
Nintendo is the masters of same formula, different skin. The ain't broke, don't fix it mentality.
Yeah.
So I can't say nothing against that, but I'm like, so at the same time, if they did everything, cool, but all they need is, oh, hey, let's incorporate this mechanic from some other game we had. Let's do Sunshine, the movie. Or just straight up do a game that had a plot. But yeah, as far as me growing up with Mario, NES Marios, I had an NES. I didn't have a Super or a 64. I kind of started going the PlayStation route. When I did go to GameCube, I heard that Mario Sunshine was trash because it had anti-new game bias going on when it came out. A lot of GameCube games became popular once the Wii came out. It's crazy. Suddenly all these fans of these games like, oh, that's so nostalgic. What? Y'all told me it was shit. But I pretty much stayed on the PlayStation path once I got it. GameCube was the last one I had. The Sonic Adventure games, I got so obsessed with them, despite the fact that I was more of a Mario head as a kid. I became so obsessed with Sonic via the adventure games, and then I lost interest in both around the same time because neither of them was on PlayStation. And that was pretty much that. And then they started going against each other at the Olympics, and I'm like, oh, y'all don't even care about the console wars anymore. Y'all on the same fucking console, playing Olympics together. But yeah, so with that said, I guess we'll go ahead and get into the movie. So Bill, getting into the movie, some of your initial reactions.
I took limited notes here because I thought that I just ended up getting into the movie. I just ended up watching the movie and I forgot, as I often do. I'll start to take notes and I'll take 3 notes the first 10 minutes of the movie and then nothing. But I really enjoyed the commercial bit. I did. I liked that. And then on first gut instinct, and then honestly, I'll just jump through my take on it as a whole from the entire movie, but also reflected my gut instinct. I'm not immediately hearing Chris Pratt when Mario speaks. And I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like if Chris Pratt had just been silently hired and did this job and the movie came out, I don't think anybody would have batted an eye. I think it's a pretty solid, it's a solid job if you're not wanting to do the cartoony original Mario voice, but you're still wanting like a little bit of Italian, maybe a little bit of New York in there, but also still bright and not quite human-ish. Like, you know what I like, you know, still childlike kind of joy vibes.
I got you. No, agree with your point. Like I said, the first trailer, the whatever, because of the shock of not hearing. He got a lot of flack from a lot of people. But like I said, as I heard of those, like, okay, it may not be that bad. Here it is in the movie. Didn't have nearly as much of a problem with it. He even did, with the commercial, they did one of those things that's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek, but also kind of cool, where they were like, let's reference the old voice despite doing it. But what I did like about it is because they were like, you don't think the accent's too much, do you? Or so-and-so. And then you have the Italian guy who's voiced by Charles Martinet. Yeah. No, I think it's a great. I'm like, okay. All I really wanted when they said Martinet wasn't going to be Mario, like, can he at least get a fucking cameo in the movie or something? And they did just that. I'm like, okay, they got him to do
right
it.
away. Right away.
Right away. It's like, guys, it's okay. Mario's here and he's signing off on Chris Pratt. It's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine. I'm having a good time.
I think it's a great yes.
It's a great idea.
Tears down face. But yeah, also seeing the Illumination logo, I'm like, oh, this is by the Minions people. This also probably explains why I didn't watch as long as I did, or why certain decisions may have been made with the chaotic nature of the film, because it's by the Minions folks.
Illumination.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the scene that they showed us from the opening in one of the teaser trailers, the fucking Bowser attack the castle. Because they actually try to make him look like a threat.
Yeah. No, like, I mean, that fire breath is serious. And he proceeds to never use it again. Literally never uses it again. But no, I forgot about that opening scene, and that is it is easy, it's obvious, but it's still really fucking funny. It's still really fucking funny. It's cute, adorable penguins thinking they're badass and tough, and then you get the double turn of no, they're just cute little adorable penguins, so they're just throwing snowballs at Bowser, and it's like it's not even like he's literally brushing them off. Yeah, it's obvious, it's easy, but that doesn't mean it's not really fucking funny.
Ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So they did that, had the commercial, the cameo, and yeah, they speaking of doing everything, like you said, they left nothing throughout this fucking movie. Just reference. You get this, you get that, you get this, you get that. We complained about the Sonic music not being enough from the games. Not a complaint for this movie. They're like, no, there's all these things.
Yeah. Luigi's phone rings. Did you notice the ringtone?
Yeah. I think that's what I put these references. I'm like, okay, this is really good. But yeah,
it has like Lego movie vibes in that way, where I would imagine every time you pause the screen, there's a reference somewhere.
That's the Everything Is Awesome movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you never seen the Lego movie?
No.
The original one? That one's I'm not a big Lego head.
Yeah.
But I know for Lego heads, it's just absolutely everywhere, chock filled with the references to the actual physical Legos and to the Lego games, which I know are very popular to a segment of people. So yeah, it's kind of got those vibes on it where it's just it's hitting a lot of things. But is there ever a piece of media where we meet the Mario parents? Right,
I was like, a whole ass Mario family. Mario parents, Mario cousins, and aunts and uncles. Just the stereotypical New York Italian family. But with the Marios. And I'm just like, what? And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And then, yeah, they had Pauline as a mayor, which she is in Odyssey. If you remember Pauline, she was the old school love interest or whatever that got replaced by Peach. So they're like, let's reference, they brought her back in Odyssey as a reference, and she was like the mayor of New Kong City or whatever, or New Donk City.
Okay.
But yeah, she's the mayor of fucking, or maybe not the mayor, but she looked like she was an important character. She was the lady in red.
Okay.
But yeah. But I thought it was weird how, the fucking standout moment, the fucking Francis incident with the dog. They go to fix the thing and the goddamn...
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, their first plumbing job. Yeah.
Oh my god. Everything
it's
involved
it's a little Looney Tunes cartoon. Like it's a Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Goofy kind of like little Looney Tunes short right there of that little let's fix the bathroom thing.
Yeah, we don't make messes and everything's fine because it was just like boop. Yeah, but they pissed the dog off, or Luigi pissed the dog off. And so chaos ensues.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and obviously first job doesn't go that well. And then I was surprised how are they gonna get wrapped up in the story though? Because they're not even like in some made up version of New York. They're straight up in Brooklyn. I'm like, what the hell? Where do they find the pipe? Eventually, underground portal, they get separated. We get introduced to fucking Toad, which I'm surprised. Speaking of, you can't hear the person. Keegan Michael Key. I don't think I could even hear, knowing that that's him and hearing the voice. I can't picture his face with as many goofy voices as that man makes. I just image, hey Mario, just the way he sounded in the movie. I'm like, huh.
Well, and I'm not saying that this is the case, but you never know who's got a little bit of a digital processor over the top of their voice, pitching it a little bit.
Yeah, but it's like the Chipmunks thing. Yeah, there's a lot of technology, but they're still doing the like bass part.
And it's still very obviously John Mulaney doing that.
They're still talking like this. That's how they talk, you know. And then they're cleaning up a bit with the fucking special effects. But they're at least doing this.
No, they're not.
Yeah. It's not that hard to do.
I would know. I mean, not now. For like the new one?
Is there a new one? Are you talking about the 2000s one when you say new one? Or is there a new one?
Like the 2021 one?
Oh, I haven't seen it. But I'm assuming they do. I'm assuming that's how they always do it.
Oh, well, no, that's not Chipmunks. I'm sorry. That's the Rescue Rangers.
Oh. Fair. Chippendale.
But yeah, you don't think it's just pitched up? You think they're really?
Well, I think they clean it up.
Just because you can do a voice that sounds similar, you think that everybody's doing that voice?
Well, like I said, they make it sound more. They take it. That's the base. They do what they need to do to make it sound more accurate. But that's the base. Because I mean, everyone can do a Meatwad impression, right? You know, Meatwad from fucking Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Hey guys, everybody can do that. If you can do that, all you gotta do is turn up the pitch. Congratulations! Yeah.
No.
And then they clean it up with, After Effects and digital shit. Anyway.
I don't think my vocal cords would make a sound. I don't think I can go that high. I'm not kidding.
Well, I mean, sounding, into lower. It's not. You don't have to be theater.
Mario and Luigi make it underground as the streets start to get flooded. That's as high as I can get. Is right there.
Yeah, that's fine.
The source of the problem.
Yeah, you got the pitch.
That's more Mickey Mouse though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got the high. What?
Anyway, what has this become?
Anyway, Mario. We get the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario goes around. There's so many fucking toads everywhere. I like how they work the video game platforming throughout the movie. Like, oh yeah, this is how they get around. Mario's just like, what the fuck? How do you get around this place? He obviously, because the movie needs to happen, acclimates pretty fast to traveling around this place as the movie goes on. But yeah, the fucking Luigi, meanwhile, horror scene, the fucking dry bone shit with the Koopa skeletons.
This is at the point where I'm like, oh wow, maybe they I think it's at this point where I remembered hearing this bit. I'm gonna shoot my shot. I think it was Scott Aukerman, host of Comedy Bang Bang and several other podcasts, referring to a conversation he had with somebody involved in this picture where they referred to just literally doing everything because they didn't know if they were going to get a sequel. And it's at this point where I was like, oh, right, man. Yeah, they are. I mean, we're barely into this movie and we're already doing Luigi's Haunted Mansion. Like they are doing everything.
Yeah, I think whenever Luigi's Mansion came out, branding wise, they were just like, "Congratulations, Luigi! For the rest of the time now, you're the scared coward who gets the horror games." That's just what a Luigi game is now.
Yeah,
Luigi is scared.
That's your brand now. You're no longer Mario's sidekick. You're the guy who's scared.
You've escaped from Mario's shadow to be scared of every other shadow. Or to be scared of your own. There we go. You escaped Mario's shadow to be scared of your own. Anyway, so he's busy being scared there. He gets captured. Whatever.
Meanwhile, Mario's laying the Mac down.
On Peach.
No, I mean, Peach is like, oh, you're human. I'm the only other human. That's crazy. And then, but also, I'm about ready to leave because Bowser's gonna come fuck up our shit. Mario wants to come with her, and Peach is like, well, I don't want to make sure that you're like wasting my time. Do this obstacle course here. And then that's like our big shit. That's the movie's ability to put actual Mario stuff
in the thing
into this movie.
Including the flagpole. Because it's an obstacle course, so you gotta come back. And they explain the power-up system. Level. Yeah, they explained the power-up system and everything. I thought it was an interesting choice to make Mario hate mushrooms. But that's the one thing he's associated with. But yeah, we get the famous song Peaches, where Bowser then, after Bowser reveals to his army, who also thought, like Peach does, that he wants world domination. He just wants to marry Peach, and he's conquering things thinking he can impress her, and he wants the Power Star before he proposes to her. And then we get the famous song, ha ha ha, I was always under the impression before I saw this movie that she was present when he sang that song. Like that was from the climax of the movie or something when he had her like, I was picturing like, the thing they're not showing is her being like tied up while Mario's sneaking in. He's like forcing her to listen to a fucking concert or some shit. But yeah, Bowser eventually finds out about Mario, and he just, that whole thing about me talking about them making him a threat, out the fucking window for like 90% of the movie. It was just like, really? Is he handsome? Do you think a princess would be attracted to him? Mario did the thing. Oh, was she like super impressed?
Well, he won, and now he has the Kong army. So probably.
The Kong army, by the way, hilarious.
I do enjoy him and the wizard's relationship throughout the movie. That's fun.
Jam with me. And it's like I said, stuff like that is like, okay, y'all are just making sure you get every reference in it. But yeah, eventually, the Kongs. Peach wants the Kong army because she's still thinking Bowser's trying to attack her, which, I mean, his backup plan for when she inevitably says no, because he's not entirely delusional. He's only like 90% delusional. There is a 10% that knows she doesn't like him.
Yeah.
So his backup plan is to destroy everything, but he really just wants to marry her. So they go to get the Kong army and recruit him. We see Cranky Kong. He's, well, about what his character says. Donkey Kong comes in with Seth Rogen. Took me a while to get used to the Seth Rogen Donkey Kong, if I got used to it.
I don't dislike Seth Rogen, but I don't know if he should be doing voice acting.
I kind of agree.
He's so very specifically Seth Rogen. I would love for Seth to just do his acting, and his writing and directing, and his show running, his producing, his owning his own hemp accessories company, all of those things. Great work, Seth Rogen. I appreciate you so much. I don't know if I want you as Donkey Kong.
Yeah. That's how I felt. I liked the DK rap when he came out, because of course references. DK. Although all they played was the line DK Donkey Kong,
because they have to get everything in. Cranky Kong goes, "All of you, quiet down. Even you, Diddy Kong."
Cuts to Diddy next to Dixie. But Diddy gets to speak because he's more famous. Yay! Yeah, but then they're like, all the Kongs ride motorcycles and shit, so that's where they decide to fit in the Mario Kart reference. Well, at first it's motorcycles, and then when they get ready to roll out, they're like, we need carts! And so now you got carts and motorcycles and shit that they're riding through. And of course, part of the path to the Mushroom Kingdom is the fucking Rainbow Road. Because we're doing Mario Kart references.
Yep, because we gotta put it all in there.
And that scene, ridiculous in and of itself. I loved it. Oh yeah, one of the things that's a running joke throughout the movie every time they cut to Bowser's prison, the fucking depression star. Life is sad. Prison is sad. Like, it's saying things in the most cutesy, happy, childlike voice, but it's always the most, like, depressing shit.
Life is meaningless and men will die.
Oh, we're dying! Finally!
Started booing when Mario saved them.
Boo! Oh,
yeah,
no.
I love that guy. I love that.
A fucking depression star. One of my favorite running jokes throughout the movie.
And Luigi does not have a lot to do with this movie.
He really doesn't. I mean,
kind of hangs out in that cage for a good portion of it. Gets kidnapped at that mansion pretty early.
Yeah, pretty much. He's there to say Mario's awesome and I love him. He's my brother. That's the majority of his lines. And that's what it is. It just is what it is. But yeah, eventually, Bowser ambushes them because he finds out they're on their way back. There's a big fight on the Rainbow Road. Really cool action sequence. And of course, because it's Mario Kart, you can't have Mario Kart references without referencing the Blue Shell. And boy, do they reference it. Not only do they reference it, they made sure the dude yelled so you knew this was a Blue Shell reference. He's just like, fucking, I'm using this. Blue Shell! Goes like fucking Super Saiyan Kappa or Koopa and just blows up the shit out of Mario and Donkey Kong's thing and the bridge. I like... You know what? As a canonical power, that's more terrifying than I thought it was. If a Koopa can just choose to do that, can a Koopa just choose to do that? Does that make you an elite Koopa? 'Cause he just...
I mean, is it kamikaze at that point?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it kamikaze? And you opening all the gates for those who know? But yeah. So that was cool though, the Rainbow Road thing. Mario and Donkey Kong get put into a side quest where they gotta stop butting heads and get along. Meanwhile, Bowser coerces Peach into at least agreeing to a wedding.
Right.
But Peach, who I've been remiss to say, or not remiss, but I've been wrong to have not mentioned yet. They portrayed Peach to be a badass throughout this movie.
Yes, and I remember there being, of course, that segment. There was a chunk of male fans when this movie was in theaters who were not happy that Peach was portrayed as a badass, which is so stupid.
Like, she's literally a playable character in a lot of games. If Mario gets to be a badass, so does she. Also, at least Mario's not incompetent. You know, not to say it would be a problem if it wasn't. Yes, turnabout's fair play and all that. I get it. It's fine, you know, if Mario is portrayed as incompetent. But he wasn't. He was untrained in Mushroom Kingdom ways.
Right, and
but
to
he
ask
was his
any
own version of badass throughout the whole movie.
To ask any person to ever make a film about Mario, and you tell them, and you lay out the lines of Mario, and him not start it as Mario being a fish out of water scenario, there's no other way to do that. He's a fucking plumber. He's a plumber, and it's this weird mystical land of sentient mushrooms and a giant snapping turtle that breathes fire and wants to take over the world. Like, it has to be a fish out of water scenario every time.
You mean turtles aren't evil?
And then Princess Peach is the princess, so by default she has to know the world rules much better than Mario.
But they wanted her to be the
right.
I'm Peach. Did I win? Fucking hated fighting her in Smash. Yeah, she's literally a fighter in Smash Brothers. Like, she's fighting.
Yeah, man. I'm sure this film raised Peach's stock so much with young ladies.
Yeah.
That is I would imagine that is the goal. That is partially the goal of that push of her being a badass. Is, I mean, she's one of our largest female properties. Let's push her. And yeah, I think they do a great job.
Speaking of badass large female properties that Nintendo has, if they want to make video games based off of movies that people are gonna buy because Nintendo makes cultists out of their fans. Metroid. Speaking of badass female characters, Samus. Yeah. Samus has been a woman since day one. Complain now, motherfucker. That said, now I'm not used to seeing Peach portrayed as a badass. I'm used to seeing her portrayed as competent or like accidentally competent, you know, serendipitous. But her being a badass, like I said, it's not like it was a complete inversion where it's like, let's in the very first Mario movie we're making it our new series if we make multiple, which prints money, why wouldn't you? But let's in the very first one flip the prince-princess dynamic.
We had 2 post-credit scenes.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, let's do, like, if they had done that, where they're like, yes, for the Mario movie you guys have wanted this whole time, Peach saves Mario for the first one because women power. Okay, one, still very much in their right to do it. Not saying they shouldn't make a movie like that. I could understand the outrage if that was the first one, considering that's the pattern set up in the games and that's what your fan base has been led to not see. But her
I mean,
Then him
if it's that blatant, I mean, don't call it the Super Mario Brothers movie. Call it Super Mario Brothers Presents Peach or something.
Super Peach. Super Princess Peach. I think that was a game that came out recently.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
If you title the movie that.
Yeah, but you get my point. I'm like,
yeah, no,
guys,
absolutely.
there's no reason for the outrage. Oh no, she was treated as an equal, if not slightly better, while in the Mushroom Kingdom. So no, I was perfectly fine with Peach's
the climax
portrayal
of this movie is all Mario.
Yeah. So shut up. Let Peach have her moments. Anyway, she clearly didn't want to marry Bowser, so she used the wedding as a setup. I love her use of the power-ups and stuff because she is an expert when she gets like the fire flower or the ice flower and she's just freezing shit, and I'm like, this is cool. But yeah, eventually Mario and DK do show up to save the day, much to the dismay of the Depression Star. And Bowser says, fuck this shit, giant something bill. I forget what he called it. It's not the bonsai bill or bullet bill. It's some other kind of bill.
Bomber bill?
Bomber bill. It was a bomber bill. So bigger than any other bills you see in the games. And it's chasing Mario, who got the Tanuki suit or a raccoon suit, so he's flying around just... But I'm surprised it wasn't the superhero cape for him to fly around with such ease. But aside from the commercial, we're referencing it, he didn't wear the cape in this movie. Something you can use in the sequel. And also based off of one of the other endings, they kind of set up for sequel bait too. Or the other end credit scenes.
Yeah, beyond the tease of the end credits, thinking like, I don't know if it was big enough, but I want to say Paper Mario. That's an untapped thread.
Paper Mario's an untapped thread.
Didn't they do a few Paper Marios?
Oh yeah, no, Paper Mario's its own little canonical, like, it's got a few games.
So there could be a Paper Mario
Technically,
reference.
we didn't do Mario Galaxy. We got hints that it exists and stuff, like the little Depression Star is a Luma from Galaxy, but what's her name? Princess Rosalina. Nowhere to be mentioned in this. So there's other ways they can do sequels if they want to take this game's plot movie.
Wario and Waluigi.
Yep. Bad That's Mario and bad Luigi. Even though eventually they're just dudes.
Which, yeah, I don't even know how you explain that in this canon. I don't know how you...
Multiverse, a universe where Mario and Luigi are evil, and so you get bad Mario and bad Luigi.
We're all multiversed out, Omari. We don't want any more multiverses.
Apparently. Sure.
So where we at? The bomber goes off. Mario saves the Mushroom Kingdom, shooting it into a tunnel,
and that ends up in the explosion, bringing them to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And they had the little final showdown. The star just so happens to fall on the ground. And then Bowser starts beating the shit out of Mario. Yes. He's like, okay, I want to remind y'all that, yes, I am supposed to be intimidating in this movie. Starts beating the shit out of Mario. And then he finally uses the flame breath again. It's just this time Luigi shows up, getting the courage to help his brother out and block it.
That's right. Yeah, he does.
They use the star together, and then they just start whooping everything's ass in sight because, of course, they do. It's the fucking star. This is Mario. Yeah, it's Mario. It's the star. They're winning. And they proceed to fucking win in epic fashion. Really fucking, like, cool moment and everything. Bowser is forced to eat a poison mushroom. I'm glad the first time Mario got a poison mushroom, I noticed it the second he had it in his hand. I'm like, oh, that's a poison mushroom. Don't eat that. I'm like, yep, there it is. However, him getting hit while having it made him return to normal size. Like, nah, that motherfucker should be dead. But yeah, Bowser gets shrunk and captured. The day is saved. Mario and Luigi, I guess, just they get work in the Mushroom Kingdom now. And the family, by the way, everybody in New York sees them save the day. They're like, yeah, Super Mario Brothers! Yeah, including their bullies character Spike from the Wrecking Crew, which, you know, another game and all that shit. Oh, that Mario's been in the past.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those pre-Super Mario Brothers games. And that's why he's like, yeah, when you used to work for so-and-so and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. Yeah, so they save the day, and they just kind of hang out in the Mushroom Kingdom. Bowser's in a cage playing Peaches by himself. And then we get the end-to-end credits scene, where just a random egg sitting in the bottom of the sewers.
Not some random egg.
Hold on, a random egg with green spots sitting in a sewer. And it cracks, and then, of course, we hear it. Yoshi! Oh no, Yoshi! I can't do a good Yoshi. Yoshi! I can't do the yo. Yoshi! Yoshi! Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do it.
But yeah, I'm like, we didn't even need the Yoshi sound effect because clearly it was a Yoshi egg, like you were saying. We didn't even need a fucking Yoshi sound effect, but it was
so
like,
some people maybe needed it. Maybe like anybody that you didn't get, you got with the Yoshi, and then if you didn't get them with that, you weren't gonna get them.
You're not at this movie. You're not watching Super Mario Brothers movie. If you don't know what a Yoshi is, you haven't even heard of it. Especially nowadays, because Yoshi makes an appearance every game like everybody else. But yeah, so that was the Super Mario Brothers movie. Anything else you want to touch on that we didn't mention? There's a lot of funny shit in the movie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I liked those a bunch of the bits. It was a funny movie. Overall, it's a very solid movie. I don't know if it's just that we're so jaded in the age of Pixar to where I need these movies to be like life-changing. I shouldn't judge them on that kind of scale, like not life-changing, but like so good that they're industry changing, or like nominated for Oscars kind of shit. They're just so good, undeniable. Because we're getting an incredible animated film that can be watched by children and adults almost every single year. So yeah, I feel like I'm just jaded at this point. But I was left with just like, yeah, okay, kind of vibes. But like when we sit down and we recount it, yes, it was a very funny movie. And yeah, I mean, yeah, the plot is generic plot, but so is everything. There's 5 original movies every year. It's very good, but for some reason when I was done with it, it left me with just like a, all right, okay, that was decent. I'm not unhappy I spent my time on it, kind of thing. And it should have garnered more than that, and I'm not sure why.
That's fair. I like this more than the Sonic movies. I will say
I liked this more than Sonic. I will agree.
I like this with the Sonic movies. I didn't dislike the Sonic movies. It's a bit hyperbolic to say, but just for the sake of trying to get my point across, I feel like the Sonic movies walked so Mario could run type deal. If you couldn't tell that from the way I keep talking about these movies, where like, well, Sonic showed it's okay, and then Mario enhanced the idea. I do agree with that. Yeah, it's not, like you said, original, blah, 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 heartfelt, life-changing film. Yeah, it's not that. But I've always been more of a movie guy myself. And so I thought it was cool. Like, it was nice and short and sweet. It was clearly for kids, but a lot more a lot more references that the adults would get to where they don't care that they're watching a kid film.
Right.
Because they're just as entertained. Because while the kids like, haha, funny poop joke, the adults like, haha, that's a reference to worst Mario game ever type shit. I don't think there were many poop jokes in this, surprisingly, which is a good thing. But you get my point. Overall, like you said, solid movie. I just really enjoyed it because I was looking at it from the thing. And if you want a nostalgia bomb, if you are a Mario fan, I'm not going to sit here and be like you're going to be 10 out of 10. But as a casual Mario fan, I fucking loved all the references, all the songs I heard when I get it. Now I'm going to need Sonic 3 to take notes from the Mario movie and go more video game. They can't. They roped themselves into a trap with the human characters. Unfortunately, adapt as best you can. Can we at least get the music? You know, Sega's supposed to do what Nintendo don't, but now Nintendo's doing what Sega doesn't. So I'ma need Sega to get on it for the Sonic movie. For Sonic 3. There's a couple of songs in particular that I want to hear, but I won't get into it here. Bottom line is, Mario movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it. If you have and you forgot, watch it again. It's very fun. Yeah, so Bill, we've been doing a nostalgia trip lately. I know it's your turn. Are we leaving the nostalgia? Are we staying here? What's going on?
Oh, we're staying on the nostalgia, baby. We're staying on the nostalgia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump back to my ninjas.
Okay.
I think we may have talked about them briefly.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch Surf Ninjas.
Yeah, we did, because I was confused about Three Ninjas.
Yeah, this time you can watch Surf
Ninjas. Cool. Fuck the other ninjas. I'm down with these ninjas now.
It's Ninja Month here on This Guy Hasn't Seen. Check us out. Also, we have a show every Saturday called You Don't Watch Sports. It is for the not sports watcher or for the sports watcher. It's super easy to get invested into. We cover 3 easy topics each week about the sports landscape. Sprinkle a little information into your sports conversations for the coming week. Try and be that guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. Go check us out right here on the Feo Grande YouTube channel every Saturday.
Yes, sir. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube on Wednesdays on the Whatever We Want podcast. Do it a good friend of mine, a good friend of the show, Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
Thank you very much, as nature intended. Yeah, we talk about just that, whatever we want. I also have a Twitter and Twitch at Giotabi. That's Giotabi. Come on in, stop on by. Streaming a lot more in 2024. So, yeah. Bill, you got anything you want to say to the folks out there? Anything left to say?
No.
All right. Well, guys, we'll see you next week with the Surf Ninjas. Adiosness.